everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, we're going to talk about using common adverbs of frequency to talk about your daily habits in Japanese. Okay, let's begin by looking at the vocabulary that we're going to use in this lesson. On this side of the board is this bar graph. The idea with this graph is to give you an idea of the differences in frequency between these adverbs. So for this lesson, let's imagine that this is a scale of days. So from 0 days in a week to 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 7 days a week. We're going to look at different adverbs of frequency that you can use to express different levels of frequency of an action for your life. So let's begin over here. At the 7-day level is mainichi. Mainichi. Mainichi means every day. Every day. Every day, mainichi. Something you do every day is something you can use mainichi to talk about. Second is this one, itsumo. Itsumo. So itsumo means always, always. So something that you do very, very often, but maybe not every day, can be used with always. So we can use itsumo to describe that. The next one is yoku. Yoku. So yoku means often. Yoku is something that's a little bit less than always, something a little bit less than itsumo, maybe on this scale around the 4 to 5 day mark. The next one is tokidoki. Tokidoki, sometimes. Tokidoki. So sometimes is a little bit less than often. Following that is amari. Amari. Amari means seldom. Seldom. So something you don't do very often. And finally, at the end of the scale over here, at the 0-day point, is zenzen. Zenzen. So zenzen means never. So we're going to practice using all of these words, and we're going to put them together with some other information to create basic sentences that you can use to talk about your daily life. So let's move along to the dialogue section. Okay, let's take a look at a short dialogue that uses one of these adverbs of frequency. Let's start with this short exchange here. So the first person says, 朝ごはんを食べますか? 朝ごはんを食べますか? Which means, do you eat breakfast? 朝ごはんを食べますか? The response is, はい、毎日食べます。はい、毎日食べます。Which means, yes, I eat breakfast every day. In this sentence, 毎日 in red is the adverb of frequency. This one means every day. So the response is yes, every day I eat, quite literally. So let's take a look next at some other example sentences that use different adverbs of frequency. All right, let's take a look at a couple of other example sentences that use adverbs of frequency. First, 時々音楽を聴きます。時々音楽を聴きます。In this sentence, the adverb of frequency is here. 時々, sometimes. This sentence means, I sometimes listen to music. 時々音楽を聴きます。You'll notice the verb at the end of this sentence is positive. 聴きます。聴きます。Let's compare this to the next example sentence. あんまりコーヒーを飲みません。あんまりコーヒーを飲みません。In this sentence, the adverb of frequency is here, あんまり, which means seldom. This sentence means, I seldom drink coffee. Note in this sentence, the verb is in the negative form, 飲みません。飲みません。あんまりコーヒーを飲みません。In this sentence, the verb at the end was positive. We're going to talk about why in the next section when we look at the grammar. Okay, now let's take a look at the grammar patterns you need to know to make sentences like these. There are two patterns. One uses positive and one uses negative verb forms. Let's look at the positive verb form pattern first. You use this positive verb form pattern when your adverb is one of these. いつも、よく、普段、時々、たまに、毎日. So we didn't talk about 普段 and たまに in this lesson. We didn't use them in the focus vocabulary section, but they are commonly used. You can think of 普段 as something like usually, and たまに as something like occasionally or every once in a while. The point is, when you use one of these adverbs of frequency to express your idea, you need to use the positive verb form. So this means something, ます. So this indicates you need to use the verb in the positive form. It can be polite or it can be casual form. That's up to you. It depends on who you're talking to. But make sure you use the positive verb form when you use one of these adverbs. For example, we saw that up here in 時々音楽を聴きます, the positive form. Then, the negative form. When you use one of these adverbs of frequency, あんまり or 全然, you need to use the negative verb form. So something, ません if you're using the polite form. If you're using the non-polite form or the casual form, that's also okay, but just make sure that you use the negative. We saw this in this example sentence here. あんまりコーヒーを飲みません. So we use the negative because we used this adverb of frequency, あんまり. So when you're building your own sentences, make sure you consider which adverb of frequency you're going to use and check to make sure your verb form matches. A quick and easy way to remember the pattern to use or to remember the order of words is this. You can imagine I here for your subject if you're making a sentence about your everyday life. I plus your adverb here plus your verb phrase. So you can put these three elements together, subject, adverb, verb phrase, to make a sentence like these.
Do you remember how to say every day? 毎日 毎日 And how to say eat? 食べます食べます Do you remember how to say I eat every day? 毎日食べます毎日食べます And how to say drink? 飲みます飲みます Do you remember how to say listen? 聞きます聞きます Do you remember how to say breakfast? 朝ごはん朝ごはん And how to say music? 音楽音楽 Do you remember how to say coffee? コーヒーコーヒー And how to say often? よくよく Do you remember how to say sometimes? 時々時々 And how to say always? いつもいつも Do you remember how to say never? 全然全然 And how to say seldom? あまりあまり
Okay, great. So now you know how to use common adverbs of frequency to talk about your daily habits in Japanese. If you have any questions, comments, or if you want to practice making some example sentences with this information, please feel free to do so in the comment section of this video. Thanks very much for watching this lesson, and I will see you again soon. Bye! Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.